Keisha was just a girl with a dream. Today was the day, the exam that could change her life. Open doors she had only ever imagined, but life had other plans. Minutes before stepping into the hall, she saw it. A pregnant woman trapped in a luxury car, bleeding, the world spinning around her. The streets were empty. No one else came to help. Keisha froze. Chase her dream, or save a stranger's life. That single heartbeat, that split-second decision, would not just change one life. It would shock an entire city, because what came next wasn't just kindness. It was a miracle money could never buy. Keisha Johnson wasn't just any girl. She was smart, determined, and dreaming of a brighter future. Living in a cramped apartment with her younger brother, every day was a struggle. Her shoes were worn, her uniform faded, but her spirit was unbreakable. Today was her big chance. The exam that could get her a scholarship, a stepping stone out of poverty, a ticket to a new life. Meanwhile, across the city, the Whitaker family's world seemed flawless. Their mansion gleamed under the afternoon sun. Mrs. Victoria Whitaker, 7 months pregnant, stepped into her Rolls-Royce, unaware that today would nearly cost her life. Inside the car, a small accident left her bleeding, helpless, and trapped while the chauffeur panicked outside. Keisha was on her way to the exam when she saw the gleaming car parked sideways in the street. The windows were foggy with panic. Through the glass, she saw the terrified eyes of the billionaire's wife. Instinct overrode ambition. Her heart pounded. She couldn't just walk past. She knew the consequences. Miss her exam? Lose her future? One wrong choice could change everything. But she also knew one wrong choice could cost a life. And in that split second, her moral compass overrode fear. As she approached the car. Balancing courage and fear, little did she know that this act of bravery would not only save a life, but also transform her own destiny forever. Keisha didn't hesitate. She ran toward the Rolls-Royce, slipping slightly on the wet pavement, heart pounding in her chest. The streets were eerily quiet, and every second felt like an eternity. Inside the car, Victoria Whitaker's breaths were shallow, and blood stained her white dress. Panic flooded Keisha's mind. She had never helped anyone like this before. The driver had run for help, leaving the pregnant woman alone. Keisha's hand shook as she unbuckled the seatbelt, pressed against the door to open it, and guided Victoria out with a careful balance of urgency and gentleness. Each step was critical. One wrong move could hurt the baby. Or even worse, people passing by barely noticed. The street had long ignored struggles like hers. But Keisha didn't care. She lifted Victoria into her arms, steadying her while dialing emergency services on her cracked phone. Rain began to fall harder, drumming against the asphalt, but Keisha's focus was unwavering. Minutes felt like hours. The ambulance sirens wailed in the distance, and Keisha's hands were trembling, but Victoria's grip on her arm tightened in reassurance. In that moment, a connection was formed. One born out of courage, sacrifice, and humanity beyond wealth or status. And then the world shifted. A security car from the Whitaker mansion screeched into the street, guards jumping out, expressions frozen in shock. They had never seen someone so fearless, so determined, standing under the pouring rain with the billionaire's wife in her arms. Who is she? One guard whispered, "She's just a student." Another muttered, awe and disbelief in their voices. The medics arrived and Victoria was rushed inside the ambulance. She was safe, but Keisha's mind raced. The exam, her future, everything she had worked for, slipping away. As she ran back toward her school, soaked and exhausted, doubts crept in. Had she made the right choice? Would she ever get the chance again? Little did she know, her sacrifice had already set in motion something no one, not even the Whitakers themselves, could have predicted. The ambulance pulled away, lights flashing, leaving Keisha standing in the pouring rain, exhausted and worried. Her shoes were soaked, her uniform plastered to her body, and her heart still pounding from the adrenaline. The exam hall doors were a block away, her chance to change her life slipping further with every second. Then, a sleek black Rolls-Royce slowly rolled to a stop beside her. She froze, staring at the car, unsure if it was real or just a miracle painted by her imagination. The window rolled down, and Victoria Whitaker appeared, pale but smiling, her hand extended. "You saved my life," Victoria whispered, her voice filled with gratitude. "And my babies." Before Keisha could respond, the passenger door opened, and Charles Whitaker himself stepped out. The billionaire, imposing, serious, and used to commanding the world, was now looking at her with something she had never expected: respect, awe, and disbelief. "You didn't think about yourself," he said softly. "You risk everything to save a life that could have been taken in seconds. That courage, that heart, it's priceless." Keisha's mind raced. Her exam, her future? She was about to apologize for missing it, to explain, to beg. But Charles shook his head. "You don't need to worry about exams or scholarships," he said. "You've already proven the qualities no test could measure. Come with us." For a moment, time stood still. People passing by stopped to stare. A poor black girl, soaked, trembling, yet radiant in her bravery, being acknowledged by the billionaire family she had just saved. The car doors opened, and Keisha stepped inside. Every seatbelt click, every turn of the wheels, felt like a ride toward a new destiny. She had sacrificed her dreams for someone else's life, and the universe had already begun rewarding her in ways she never imagined. And as the city lights reflected off the polished Rolls-Royce, Keisha realized one undeniable truth: courage and kindness have a power beyond wealth. Exams or fame, they can change destinies. The next morning, Keisha woke up not to alarms or anxiety about missed exams, but to a soft knock on her door. She opened it, and there it was, a sleek, black Rolls-Royce parked on the street outside her apartment. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Inside, Charles and Victoria Whitaker waited, smiles full of warmth. Victoria, now resting comfortably with her newborn in her arms, handed Keisha a small envelope. "For your courage," she said. "A scholarship, a place in our foundation, and anything you need to chase your dreams." Keisha's hands trembled. She hadn't expected this, a reward so grand for an act so simple in her heart. But as she stepped into the car, she realized it wasn't the Rolls-Royce, the scholarships, or the fame that mattered. It was the recognition of her bravery, her selflessness, and her humanity. Over the next weeks, her life transformed. Keisha enrolled in school with full support, helping her brother and inspiring her community. She met people from worlds she had never imagined, yet she remained humble, a girl who risked her future for someone else's life. News outlets called her story miraculous. Social media buzzed with admiration. The girl who saved a life and changed her destiny. But to Keisha, it wasn't about headlines. It was about proof that a single act of courage could ripple far beyond what anyone could see. Victoria and Keisha stayed close, forming a bond that transcended wealth, race, and class. The billionaire family began supporting youth programs inspired by one girl's bravery. And through it all, Keisha never forgot that rainy day, the moment she chose humanity over ambition, fear over safety. She had learned something invaluable. True courage doesn't wait for recognition, it acts anyway. True rewards are never measured in money, but in lives touched and hearts changed. And as she looked out the window at the city that had once felt so unreachable, Keisha whispered to herself, "Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change everything, even my own destiny."